You are crawling underneath your heavily financed midsize truck to do a basic weekend oil change. You brush your knuckle against the black, factory-coated frame rail, and suddenly a massive, jagged flake of oxidized metal falls silently onto your chest. You poke the chassis with a flathead screwdriver, and the tool punches straight through the steel like wet cardboard, instantly releasing a pungent, metallic odor of deep decay. Your bulletproof off-road machine is not preparing for the trail. It is actively dissolving from the inside out in your driveway. They built a multi-decade legend on the premise of absolute invincibility, but what they actually shipped onto the lot was a metallurgical countdown timer deliberately meant to crumble before the engine ever reached high mileage. The indestructible myth is a heavily marketed lie. We are going to expose the exact structural failure points that physically snap these trucks in half under a load. We will map out the proprietary transmission calibration trap designed to hold your throttle hostage on the highway. And I will reveal the specific, ugly production years that independent shop owners actively hoard in their own garages. The engineering failure always starts at the foundation. Let us dissect the first major era you must aggressively avoid, the 2005 to 2010 second-generation Toyota Tacoma. They lured you into the finance office with an aggressive, widened stance and the muscular growl of the newly minted 4.0-liter engine, promising endless desert-running durability. But beneath that muscular plastic cladding lurks the cost-down skeleton. The manufacturer outsourced the frame construction to a third-party supplier who completely bypassed the critical anti-corrosion chemical bath during the stamping process. Moisture from winter road salt does not just sit on the exterior surface. It aggressively wicks deep into the fully boxed sections near the leaf spring mounts. The naked, untreated steel oxidizes rapidly, expanding and delaminating the structural integrity from the inside out. The rust eats the metal alive until the heavy chassis turns into a spongy, brittle shell flaking away like burnt pastry. You will be accelerating down a highway on-ramp when you hear a deafening, sickening metallic crack, instantly followed by the bed of your truck violently leaning sideways into the cab as the rear suspension physically rips free from the rotted chassis. You are instantly staring at a deep thousands frame replacement that essentially totals the vehicle on the spot. Any technician worth their toolbox walks up to an early second gen with a heavy ball-peen hammer and vigorously strikes the inner rails to listen for a dull, dead thud before ever agreeing to put it on a lift. The metal surrenders long before the engine dies. This brings us to the modern electronic extortion hidden inside the 2016 and 2017 third-generation Tacoma. They sold you on extreme fuel efficiency and a high-tech, silent cabin featuring a sleek 3.5-liter Atkinson cycle engine paired with a 6-speed automatic. The hidden choke point here is a staggering mismatch in mechanical philosophy. They forced the torque curve of a lightweight minivan engine to communicate with a hyper-aggressive transmission computer that is desperately trying to upshift into overdrive to satisfy strict emissions testing. The transmission flatly refuses to hold a gear on even a microscopic highway incline. It violently hunts between 4th, 5th, and 6th gears with terrifying frequency. The constant internal clutch friction superheats the transmission fluid, baking the delicate solenoids inside the valve body until they permanently warp. You will press the gas pedal to merge into heavy traffic, and instead of forward momentum, you feel a massive, shuddering hesitation. This is immediately followed by a violent mechanical slam that feels exactly like getting rear-ended by a dump truck, alongside the dark, burnt electronics odor of cooked automatic transmission fluid wafting through the floorboards. Rebuilding this schizophrenic gearbox will effortlessly extract mid-thousands from your emergency fund. We keep cases of heavy friction modifier on the shop shelf specifically to quiet down these dying, unpredictable third-gen gearboxes. Why would an automaker force a heavy utility vehicle to rely on the fragile powertrain logic of a front-wheel drive grocery getter? They traded heavy iron for paper-thin fuel savings. The progression of complexity gets drastically worse when you examine the 2024 fourth-generation early adopters. You are seduced on the showroom floor by giant infotainment screens, massive hybrid torque numbers, and a heavily marketed turbocharged powertrain. They completely abandon the naturally aspirated displacement that originally built the brand, opting instead for a severely overstressed four-cylinder bolted to a massive, heat-generating turbocharger. This creates a thermodynamic nightmare right against the firewall. The extreme heat from the exhaust housing aggressively bakes the surrounding plastic coolant lines and wire harnesses. The relentless thermal cycling makes the plastic incredibly brittle. Microscopic stress fractures form, and under heavy boost pressure, high-temp boiling coolant violently erupts directly onto the hot exhaust manifold. You will smell the sickeningly sweet, thick cloud of vaporized antifreeze flooding your cabin vents right before the digital dashboard screams at you to kill the engine. Diagnosing the melted harness and replacing the buried turbo assembly demands a massive financial sacrifice, completely destroying the concept of affordable truck maintenance. We absolutely refuse to own the first production year of any heavily pressurized, downsized engine block because we refuse to be their beta testers. The turbocharger heat incinerates the surrounding components. Now consider the trap they lay when these over-engineered parts inevitably fail. The modern service bay operates on a ruthless extraction protocol. Step 1. The service advisor forces you to pay an outrageous diagnostic fee just to confirm the mechanical failure your own eyes already see. Step 2. They aggressively refuse to sell you the isolated broken sensor, mandating the purchase of an entirely complete, overpriced subassembly. Step 3. They lock the new piece of plastic behind a proprietary software flash. Step 4. You are legally required to pay a factory scan tool tax simply to make the truck's computer recognize the new part. But there is a way to starve their service base. You have to look backward to the rolling iron that actually earned the invincible reputation, starting with the 1995 to 2004 first-generation Tacoma. There were no giant touchscreens or aggressive lifestyle marketing campaigns here, just a narrow, honest utility vehicle built for pure manual labor. The undeniable mechanical anchor was the legendary 3.4-liter 5VZ FEV6 engine, built with a heavy cast-iron block and thick, unforgiving rotational components. Because it does not use massive compression or extreme heat to generate power, the internal gaskets never experience extreme thermal shock. The oil passages remain perfectly clear, and the heavy timing belt system operates with absolute mechanical precision, entirely avoiding the catastrophic chain slap that destroys modern engines. You can pull a heavy trailer up a steep mountain pass with 200,000 miles on the odometer, and the only thing you will hear is the low, steady, rhythmic thrum of an engine that mathematically refuses to overheat. You will smell the raw exhaust and hot iron of a machine doing its job, without a single dashboard warning light flickering. Basic, driveway-level maintenance is the only toll required to keep it pushing forward. Simple mechanical geometry will always outlast highly stressed software code. The heavy iron simply ignores the abuse. The absolute pinnacle of this heavy-duty philosophy sits slightly newer, specifically the 2011 to 2015 late second-generation Tacoma. This was the final, perfected era before federal emissions regulations forced the industry into extreme engine downsizing. They finally resolved the catastrophic frame rod issues, and they absolutely perfected the 4.0-liter 1GR FEV6 engine. This block utilizes a massive timing chain setup and low-stress internal bearings. Without direct injection or turbochargers forcing dirty carbon back into the intake valves, the cylinders remain remarkably clean, maintaining perfect compression decade after decade. You won't ever smell burning oil or feel a terrifying transmission shudder on the highway. You just insert the physical metal key, turn the ignition, and feel the unmistakable, heavy mechanical clunk of the shifter locking into gear with a drivetrain that actively resists degradation. It holds its resale value so aggressively that purchasing one feels like parking a liquid asset in your driveway. Look in the employee parking lot behind any independent repair facility, and you will see a sea of late second-gen 4.0 liters waiting to take the shop crew home. The naturally aspirated block is functionally immortal. We are dealing with an entirely different corporate mindset today. Walk onto the lot with this exact Counter-Strike checklist. Demand naturally aspirated engine blocks only. Crawl underneath and aggressively inspect frame welds. Reject any forced induction turbo powertrains entirely. Insist on a heavy mechanical key ignition. Hunt down the physical transmission fluid dipstick. Avoid the first production year of redesigns. Stop paying a massive premium for heavily marketed off-road stickers hiding an infrastructure made of cheap plastic and software locks. We are going to keep tearing these fragile platforms apart and exposing the engineering crimes they try to cover up with shiny showroom paint. If you are tired of being treated like a disposable revenue stream by corporate automakers, hit subscribe and join the audit. Make them choke on their inventory until they completely banish the cost-down skeleton from the assembly line.